Yeah, that's probably a little too loud. Is that better?
Hello, and welcome. Welcome, Swear Nation. Glad to have everyone here. Hey, if this is your first time checking out the show, glad to have you here. This is a show by the Chilihead community for the community. Regardless of your spice tolerance, this is the place for you. So, hey, we got a great show up here for you tonight. We have one product on Hot or Not for the night, and then we have a guest as well, and then rolling straight into from there. Man, we have a League of Fire challenge that will be taking place towards the end, so stick around for that. Hey, show number 19 starts now. All right. Hey, welcome on into the show. Glad everyone's here. Hey, super excited for tonight. We have such a great episode planned for you. We have one product on Hot or Not tonight. This is Don Chowana hot sauce. And then from there, hey, we have neverbetterclub in the guest spot today. Looking forward to diving in on everything neverbetterclub. And after that, this is going to be a show first. We're going to be doing a League of Fire challenge. So stick around for that. It's going to be a fun one. So, hey, if this is your first time checking out the show, glad to have you here. By all means, please go ahead and, subscribe on YouTube. We're really trying to get it to grow there. And if you're looking for early announcements, etc., that's all going to be done on Instagram. So definitely check us out there if that's, what you're into is getting that information first. But by all means, this is a live show. And as you can see there, hey, jump on in the chat, be a part of the show. You can have your questions, come up in the interview. And as well as, hey, normally there's some games, jump in on those. But today, like I said, we have this challenge going on. So show number 19. Let's start it. Let's get on over to Hot or Not. All right. Hey, welcome on in. We have one product for tonight's Hot or Not. We have Don Chowana hot sauce. So first of all, let's go ahead and get this opened up. I will state this. I know normally I mention that there's a perforation. This sauce does not have a perforation. No problem. I always use my knife anyways. So let's get that opened up. Give it a good shake. And if you're new here and you're trying to figure out what how we go about really doing this overall grading on these sauces or products that we review in general, we do this based off of a 5-category scale. So that will be heat, aroma, flavor, versatility, and burn. And from there, we average that out and get our total swear word rating. And hey, let's dive on in. So here we go, up close for the pour. All right. So, all right, aroma. There we go. It's got a nice body going on with this.
Sauce review.
No, I think it's great.
All right. Consistency. So it does have like a medium consistency, if you will. It has a nice run flow to it. All in all, you're going to find some seeds. You're going to find some pulpy bits from the peppers. Great texture on this sauce and great flavor. Let's go ahead and jot this down real quick while I'm here. And I talk about this, but I realized the other day that I hadn't actually mentioned this in a few shows. So, if you're new to the show and you're trying to figure out, hey, why did you say heat and burn? I do break those up very deliberately. I view heat and rate heat based off of what that first 30 seconds is from the sauce, the first initial punch. The burn, I factor that off of a few things, but the overall heat score, or the burn score, if you will, is really based off the lingering and intensity that comes with it. So let me jot this down here. Heat. This is a pretty safe sauce if you're new to the game. I would say it's going to be about a medium if you're new to the game and you haven't really eaten much hot stuff. If you're a chili head, you're going to see this on the mild medium range, a little bit closer to the mild side. Once again, my tolerance is a bit up, so it could be slightly different for you. Aroma, once again, you get a nice body here. You get a lot of almost that savory, not smoky, but that roasted smell coming through. So overall, let me jot down aroma. And then flavor. Flavor on this one, we have a very nice, almost like a salsa, but with a touch of heat, right? So it's got that same salsa taste, texture, feel going on, but done in a hot sauce manner. Versatility, it's a pretty versatile sauce. I don't think, I can't really think of anything I probably wouldn't go to town on this with. Maybe this wouldn't be my go-to grab for, say, pizza, but for definitely things like chicken, rice dishes, sandwiches, etc., I would kind of gravitate more towards that for this sauce. So let me jot that down. And then burn. Okay, let me get that. We're going to get this on over to producer Jeff. So now that Jeff's getting that input for us, we're going to go ahead and dive on in here to the list of ingredients. So up first, the ingredients list. We got vinegar, bell peppers, habanero peppers, Italian red hot chili peppers. And then we have jalapeno pepper, kosher salt, garlic, potassium sorbate, and sodium benzate. Sorry. And then, all right, so while we're there, it does have a heat scale on here. They're showing this to be 3 out of 4 flames. So once again, hey, if you're new to eating spicy foods, if you're not super accustomed to going all in, that's a pretty fair, I would say, a pretty fair scale for somebody that's just entering. If you're a chili head, it's going to be closer to the medium mild range. So let me see here. So we have the origin story. Originally born from the trails to create the perfect hot sauce for fried chicken, Don Chowana has become the new household name in hot sauce. This flavorful sauce is made with love in North Carolina with pepper varieties from across the globe. Introduce Don Chowana to your friends, family, and foes to ensure you have it wherever you find yourself. Too much will never be enough, and you might just be asking everyone, Don Chowana. So, love the name there. It's very catchy. Let's get on over here to the scoring. All right. So, up first, we have heat. Heat is coming in at 2.8. Then we have aroma at 3.4. Flavor at 2.9. And versatility at 3.8. And burn at 2.8. So all in all, heat and burn about the same. Score of 3.14. All right, that's a total swear word rating right there. Don Chowana will have the product links down below. You can pick up your bottle there. All in all, nice sauce. Definitely recommend checking it out. So let's go ahead and get on over to the interview. Hey, Michael, Alexandria.
Hey, everyone. Hey, Brandon.
How's it going? Glad to have
Great.
y'all. Glad to have y'all here. It's I know we had mentioned this before the show, but it's definitely it's going to be different in the chat not having y'all there. So I know y'all are normally very active and firing things up, but glad to have y'all here. Obviously, we need to start talking about Never Better Club in many facets, start, origins, everything. So hey, with that being said, I do see we have quite a few people jumping in. Thankful for everyone that's coming into the chat. And let's go ahead and fire it away. Yeah. Hey, so let's start with that then. Let's start with origins. How did Never Better Club come into the picture? Where did the name come from, etc.?
You go.
Oh man, well, it really started with Alexandria. I mean, it basically one day she woke up and she said, "I just really want something spicy," and I went online and found really the only kind of extreme challenge, like restaurant challenge here in the state of Missouri, and I'm like, let's just go do it. And we went there, and it was brutal. I beat the challenge, but Alexandria, she got about halfway through,
Yeah.
and she tapped. But
it was so intense. It was the hottest thing I had ever eaten in my entire life. Like, I'd never eat super hot stuff, and the wings were covered in extract. And but fortunately, plutonium 9
man.
and
it was really brutal.
And I did, I had no idea. So that was the first thing super hot that I ever had in my life. And I didn't get cap cramps because I did fortunately prep.
We did prep, yeah.
And I didn't, throw up or anything. It was great. A good experience. So then after that, I said to Michael, I'm like, well, what can we do else? Like, what's next? And we were like, wow, there's really a lack of places to go where we can do challenges in the state that we live in, actually, like anywhere in the state. And we started looking around online, and Michael started digging, and he said, hey, I found this community, but it's kind of unfortunate. Most of their users seem to be in Europe, and they're called League of Fire. And he said, so let's see, if we can do anything. Oh, it looks like they have the one chip challenge on there. We can get our hands on one of those from Amazon. So he ordered 2, and we sat down and we did our first challenge together.
Very nice. Very nice. That's awesome.
So we hit the ground running from there. So yes. I think we did every challenge we could get our hands on, and we just kind of didn't stop. So
yeah, we really did it almost every day, every other day for the first couple months, and we just were like addicted. We thought it was so much fun, and we wanted to try anything that we could get our hands on, like Michael said. And for some reason we did really well with prep early on, and first couple of challenges I didn't have any cramps, and Michael had a little bit of stomach discomfort. I remember that, but he did okay. He had a bit of stomach tolerance at the time. And then we started diving into some really difficult stuff. And it was just kind of a spiral from there.
And then we started kind of branching out. We started getting pep reading competitions, and of course, really doubled down on League of Fire. So kind of spread our wings throughout 2023.
Yeah, that's how it started.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah, I was about to say, I know I was looking through the League of Fire rankings and site and everything, and y'all's names are pretty much on. It looks like almost every challenge that I was clicking on. So that's definitely a big feat right there in its own self. So kudos. Yeah. So y'all have quite a few things that y'all have been working on, both, with what y'all are doing with Never Better Club. I know the merch just recently opened up, looking great. Loving the designs and setup that you have there. What else have y'all really been, diving into lately, or where is y'all's passion and direction going currently, I guess, for Never Better Club?
Well, maybe start. So in 2023, we really started getting really focused on pep reading competitions. So I competed in San Diego and won the belt there. I'm preparing now for the North American belt match. So we're really excited about that. Alexandria's going to be competing in Tampa next month. And so for the road for the America's belt match. And then I think she's hoping to get into the North American belt match. So that's really been a core focus. Last year, we also did a number of the speed reaper eating competitions. We were in Chicago and Tennessee, which I took first in both of those. Didn't beat the Guinness World Book record, but I did win both of those comps. So kind of a focus of endurance and speed from a pepper eating perspective. So those are definitely some areas of focus. You go to our website, neverbetterclub.com, you'll see that we do a lot of challenges. We do challenges all the time. And one of the things that we've been focused on recently is giving back. So every challenge that we do, we donate 10 meals. And if we have a reversal of fortune, we'll donate 100 meals. So we're definitely part of the hashtag No Boot crew. So when you really get deep into the challenge world, one facet is there's kind of two camps, it seems: people that boot regularly and people that don't. We're in it for the long haul, so we're definitely fans of the no boot. But if we do, we will donate 100 meals for each one of us that boots. So we've got a number of things going on. Kind of spanning pepper eating competitions and just regular challenges in general.
Very nice. Yeah, I was just about to dive into the whole giving back on the meal aspect. So I don't know if you mentioned, if you did, I missed it, but what number are y'all at right now as far as meals donated?
So we recently donated 6,000 meals, and so we got a little ahead. So I always like to kind of try to stay ahead of the curve there. And so I think we're about once a quarter. So at the end of this quarter, we'll kind of reassess.
We'll retabulate
where we are in terms of challenges, booting.
But fortunately, we keep track of literally everything we do, and we have this database on our website. So we just kind of pick back up where we left off, and we can go through. And you believe me, you remember when you had a bad one, and we both have to look.
Okay. All right. We're back. Yeah. No worries. The live show things, yeah. Okay. Well, from there, that's awesome. Definitely like the direction that y'all are going, spreading the positivity and generosity, not only through the community at large, but also to the community around you. So that's super cool. As far as the League of Fire side of things, I know you said you're going to be going for the what is it? What did you say? The U.S. belt? I forget that.
Yeah, North America's belt match. Yep.
North America. Okay.
So that's in Pennsylvania. Summertime. Alexandria is going to be competing in the road to the America's belt match. We love League of Fire. We really find that the challenges for us, it's like training. I mean, we think of tolerance, daily. So even if you don't see us burning on camera, we're doing challenge level burns every single day. It's just part of our life. It is really a lifestyle. But really, it's with pepper eating, in mind. So we're super excited about pod season coming very soon, right around the corner here. So
much fun.
Yeah. So pretty much every meal that we eat, we burn on, fresh pods. It really is fantastic. So
there is no other place that it's more fun, pod season specifically, than in Capsaicin Crew, by the way. So
very cool. Yeah, I see y'all are very active there as well. Overall, the level of burns that y'all do, it's awesome and inspiring to see. So shout out to y'all for that. I guess along that same line, I know you were saying that you're doing things every single day to kind of keep prepared. I know I've asked a few others this as well, but I wanted to see what y'all's thoughts were on it. As far as tolerance in general, do you feel like it's more muscle memory, or is that something that you really just have to keep chipping away at to keep it maintained?
I think Michael and I are very different, so I will answer first. I personally feel like, and it might be more of a shock thing to your palate, but for me, if I don't burn which is extremely rare, if I don't burn for 2 or 3 days straight, And I mean, do something like Michael said, like challenge level. If I don't do that for 2 or 3 days straight, the next time I go to a challenge, I feel it. Like I feel like it hurts, not necessarily in my stomach, but you feel the mouth burn, or I do. And I know so many people who say the opposite. They're like, oh, tolerance doesn't really go away. And I don't know, like maybe tolerance doesn't go away, but when I take in a bunch of powder after I haven't had anything super hot over the course of like a weekend or something, I'm like, whoa, that's insane. It'll shock me. But Michael kind of feels the opposite, or dissimilar to me.
Well, yeah, for me, this has been just such a part of my life that I've had a hard, I don't know, the tolerance doesn't really seem to slide backwards, it seems, but I am very cognizant of maintaining stomach tolerance, which is something that does take a long time to build up. So throughout 2023, we were both really focused on stomach tolerance, and I think that's probably, I'm speaking for Alexandria, maybe one of the hardest things that she dealt with in 2023 is getting over that hump. It really is brutal, because it's one thing to do big pushes and boots and everything, but to build stomach tolerance really does require cramping. You just have to cramp. It's just par for the course. It's the only way that you can build stomach tolerance, at least in my experience. So a lot of our capsaicin intake from my goal is really just to maintain stomach tolerance. I think about it from the perspective of sitting for an hour and consuming 50 Superhots. You really need to have a strong stomach to do that. And it's a balancing act. You also need to take some time to let your stomach kind of heal.
Yeah.
So yeah, we treat this like it's a professional sport. Whether it's NFL or NBA, like we that is the level that we really want to be playing at in the League of Fire and in the Chili Head world. So I really do think that this is a new competitive sport. I think we're all kind of new. We're all new to it, right? Like it's only been around for around 5 years. I think in Europe there's been pepper eating competitions going back to, like, maybe upwards of 15 years. Like from a competitive perspective, this is all rather new. But we really do take it serious. Alexandria and I, outside of family life and work and everything, this is what we love. So
yeah, no, definitely. I can see how from the challenge side of things, you're taking on a whole different aspect of everything, whether it be, it's not just your average person going to the store and grabbing the shelf, hot sauce that they can find, and going out to these competitions. You have to really step it up and go to the next level. So I definitely see where you're saying it is, you're aligning more, or you're having to align more with what would be considered, what a lot of people would consider like national or professional athletes, right? Because it's a professional athlete type of position, just obviously different arena, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so we really, our goal is to be overall well-rounded, and there's a lot of facets to the competitive world of chili eating, whether it's challenges or pods. There's endurance, there's speed. There's so many different things that you can train for and get really good at. And our goal, and something Alexander and I talk about frequently, is just making sure that well-rounded and and training for it. So I think a lot of people think about tolerance, but once you achieve tolerance, there's just so many other things that you can work on, right? So. Yeah. And again, I use sports as an analogy, right? So like you could be a really good point guard, but maybe there's other things that you want to focus on. I don't know much about sports, ironically, so this is maybe.
I don't either.
No worries, no worries. It's not going to flip to a sports show all of a sudden. So we'll get back on that.
I was like, oh no, let's not talk about sports.
Don't do it.
Yeah, we'll pivot from there. I do have another question. I know I've heard y'all kind of give a little bit of input on it recently, but just for those that are watching, this is always an interesting question to dive into, because, some people also don't see the difference between the two. So, extract versus cap crystals. I mean, what's y'all's personal preference between the two, and I guess why?
Oh, cap crystals for me.
Yeah.
Because, but don't.
Well, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
But anyways, for me, cap crystals. They're tasteless, they're scentless, and for me, they process much faster than extract. I feel like when I take in too much extract, I am spending many hours dealing with either warm, depending on the amount, warm belly or cramps. And then even into the next day, I will feel foggy, almost like I have some sort of odd hangover. And I really don't like that because I think my body is telling me, like, hey, this is poison. Like, you probably shouldn't take in a lot of this. But with cap crystals, I think it processes a lot faster. I don't even know if it really has to go through your liver. I feel that like once you go pee a few times, it's out of your system. You know, you might cramp from enough of it, but you can get it out of your system with some fluids.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then on the flip side, extract. So it's interesting. You know, we've gotten to a point where it's really hard to find sauces that provide really any heat. You know, your mouth tolerance just gets to the point. You do so much extract and everything that you just can't taste anything. So I kind of got on a bit of a extract sauce binge there. You know, probably late Q3, early Q4, 2023. And I discovered, we were talking about this recently in a video. I don't know what to call it. I just call it extract gut.
Yeah.
And I think what happens is the body can't process extract if you take it in high amounts. And I think it just sits there. And there are side effects. And I think everyone deals with it differently. And my experience is people throughout a year or two, when they get into really heavy challenges, a lot of people end up retiring because they end up having all sorts of things. If you do some research and look at some different videos, everyone reacts differently. I think Pyro Pitbull was talking about this in a video, how he has like upper stomach issues when
Recently,
he takes in capsaicin.
About this, yeah.
So I discovered, I isolated it down. I kind of cut extract out of my diet, and it just went away. And kind of my what I call extract gut just kind of disappeared. And whenever I take an extract, I end up with this kind of these weird side effects that's just not very pleasant, and they last.
Anyways, but Michael also told me the other day that he's like, hey, I have a secret. And I was like, what? He's like, I think I like extract. So he just changes his mind.
I do like it. I just think that
it's because it's very hot.
Yeah. I do think that you just have to be careful. It's one of those things like when we talk about capsaicin in general, I really firmly believe that capsaicin is safe for you. You can eat a lot of pods, you can take in a lot of hot sauce and powder, and it'd be very safe and actually healthy for you. But I guess my warning is, the slight kind of dark side of things, extract and cap crystals in high amounts, there are consequences, and you do need to be careful. So
yeah,
I just learned that personally, and I think everyone reacts to it differently. I think some people have more lasting effects. Fortunately, it seems like I have not, which I am thankful for. So
yeah. Well, and to that point, like my own personal preference as well is I'm not a big fan of extract. To your point, the next day I do kind of feel like almost a sluggish hangover kind of vibe, if you will. The other thing is it never fails. My coffee the next day will have like a metallic-y taste to it. And I'm like, I don't like this. So that's just my own personal preference from there. So I typically try to stay away from extract. I am fine with the idea of cap crystals and what they bring to the table. Yeah, because the no flavor, the no smell, it's just amplifying the burn, right? And I don't know if you meant the pun in there, but whenever you were talking about the darker side, and immediately I was like, well, yeah, extract's pretty darn dark, so I definitely get that. Hey, we do have some questions in the audience, so let's get some of those pulled up on here. All right, Broken Charlie. It says Never Better Club.
Okay, you want to do 3, 2, 1? Like
3, 2, 1. Matt
Charlie
Johnson.
Wetmore.
What?
Oh, divided household.
I think now listen.
I love Charlie.
I love Matt.
He knows he's number 2 in the world. Matt Johnson's number 1 in the world.
But I think Charlie is the future world belt holder. And I always have said that. And when it happens, I'll be the one like, yay, Well, I called it. But I think that Charlie is, he's got something special. He's got the endurance and the push, and he actually likes it. Like he doesn't burn just for the camera or just for like clout or whatever. Like he's the real deal. So is Matt. He doesn't do any of those things either. I'm not comparing them, but like, but I don't know. I just have faith in Charlie.
Charlie has the right stuff.
Yeah, and Matt does too.
All the right stuff.
And I just think that maybe like you'll see a Matt and a Charlie go head to head, or a Michael and a Charlie, or like Mike, Jack, and Charlie. Maybe Charlie will beat Mike, Jack. I'm not kidding when I say those things. He's probably in the comments like, stop talking. But yeah, I mean that. So there you go. That's your answer.
Okay. Yeah, I see Charlie firing off in the chat saying wrong. It's Matt. So hey,
Charlie has good speed without even trying.
He does, and then he does speed things. Sorry, we're interrupting you, Brandon. But he goes, I wasn't even trying. And I'm like, Charlie, you should try, because you would break a lot of speed records.
Hey, there we go. Nothing wrong with a vote of confidence. So Charlie, gracefully take this nice compliment here, and hey, if you're not really trying on those speed challenges, this might be the time to step in there and really show everyone what you got. So yeah, it looks like speaking of Matt, we have a question, so I'll read it out for everyone that's listening. How does it feel to be the #1 chili heads in the world with the Guinness brains?
Genius brains.
And incredible intellect. Okay. Genius.
You're far too flattering, Matt. Jeez, oh man.
Thanks, Matt.
All right. Well, it looks like we have another one here. All right. Were y'all both into spicy food when you met, or did you want to encourage the other to get into it?
No, I've always told everyone this. I would pick, like, if I had to choose between Flamin' Hot Cheetos and regular Cheetos, I'd pick the Flamin' Hot ones. But like, that's the extent of it there, like that's as far as I go. I would use Tabasco sometimes, but honestly, there were times when I would use Tabasco and I was like, this is too spicy. I'm not in the mood for it. And, and Michael is the one who he didn't encourage me. I just woke up one day. It's so weird. And I was like, I want something extreme hot, but over the years, but I've watched Michael. I've just watched him do like crazy things in challenges. And like, I've always just kind of stared at him like, why are you doing this to yourself? So it's probably just rubbed off on me. That's the answer.
Okay.
Yeah, years ago, pre-COVID and everything, I did, some Reaper, like ramen challenges and whatnot. So Alexandria's been around it kind of throughout our relationship, and I'm a heavy sweater and she hates that. It's kind of a joke on our channel, because whenever I do anything extreme, you can tell because I just start pouring sweat, which is why I wear a headband. So she's been around it, and she's always kind of found it, rather disgusting. So now she's a part of it. So it's great.
Yeah, I don't sweat this though.
She doesn't sweat, so.
Okay. All right. Who did your logo? Love the branding.
Oh yeah, we have a few different designers that we work with, but one in particular who has a very specific style. So I'd have to send his information, but yeah, okay. He's super talented. So. Yeah,
very nice.
Always reach out to us.
Yeah, reach out to us.
All right. Here we go. What's the worst cramps you've had, and what was the challenge, and how long did the cramps last?
All right, you go first.
Easy for you.
You go first.
What's tricky is that.
Oh no, I know yours though. It's pure insanity.
Probably is pure insanity. Yeah.
Tell it.
So yeah, pure insanity. The powder challenges are just absolutely brutal, and we did some early on, kind of in our Never Better Club career, and that was definitely when we were dialing in our prep and everything. So, but fortunately for me, I'm a really fast digester, so I don't think I've ever had cramps last longer than maybe 6 hours. Where Alexandria is more horror stories, kind of the 12 to 18 hour thing.
Yeah, I'll give you those.
But fortunately, I'll endure it. They'll be incredibly painful, but eventually I know, cramps. The great thing is it's kind of like reverse childbirth, right? Like the cramps get spaced out, so you just kind of you measure your cramps, they start spacing out, and they go away. So yeah, maybe Pure Insanity Society. The Killer Queen, I remember having some pretty pretty terrible cramps from that too. But outside of that,
did the Killer Queen, it made you throw up, didn't it?
I think it just, at one point
ejected.
It just
that was a bad one for me too. We both tried to stomach it. We both tried to keep it down, and it was hours later of horrid cramps. And I remember both of us, it was just like, goodbye, left our bodies. But mine, I have two stories, but I'll just tell one. One story, because the cramps were worse on the other, because I had a more sensitive stomach. I had less tolerance at the time, but I had the tube of terror. Was it the version 1? It was.
I think it was the first one.
It was the first one. It's a regular tube of terror. And then the LSD challenge.
Oh, LSD.
The LSD challenge was a horrible death spiral for me, and it was just me cramping.
One of my favorite challenges, by the way. That's
throwing up. And then I would cramp severely, and then I would throw up. And I did it, I always get this wrong, but it was either 6 or 8 times. And it was for 6 or 8 hours, on the hour. I would throw up and then cramp intensely. And then the last time, I just fell asleep on the bathroom floor for 30 minutes. And I woke up, and Michael was like, where have you been? This is not that hard of a challenge. And I was like, this has been the worst day of my life. But the worst cramps I've ever had were the tube of terror. I digested the whole thing, and I did actually digest the whole thing. This was only the 3rd challenge I ever did in my life. And I had no idea what I was doing, so I had no prep, and I did the whole thing. And the cramps started kind of slowly, and they got worse and worse, and I wasn't taking care of myself, and I didn't, like I said, I didn't have any prep in my stomach. And I laid on the couch and just covered in sweat, would change my clothes, cramp, fall asleep for an hour, wake up, do the same thing. It was like a repeating cycle. And I would just dry heave the whole night into a plastic bag, and nothing ever came up because I had nothing in my stomach. I couldn't force myself to eat. Yep. It was that bad. So, and then I promised myself the next day I would never touch another challenge again in my life. And I did one 4 days later. So that was that. But that was the worst I've ever had. I don't think I'll ever have cramps like that again in my life because I know too much now. So
yeah. No, I definitely get that there. Been on a vicious cycle similar to that, but early on in my path, if you will, of doing challenges. But I do want to go ahead and point out some fun banter that's going on in the chat, and I know it's been mentioned elsewhere. Before we get here we go. Actually, this is pretty much it. So I'll just go ahead and read the question here from Sundance. Can anyone see the backs of their heads in the mirror? No, vampires confirmed. So there's some fun vampire banter going back and forth. What's the story behind that? We'll dive into that next.
Yes, they can breathe in outer space. We don't need helmets. You heard we're trying to make it to the moon. Yeah, that's a future endeavor. Michael works on it all the time. But yes, so we are. People have said that we are vampires, especially Michael, and that would clearly make me one as well. So yeah, I don't know what else to say.
So you would be a vampire inductee then?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I think about that all the time because I'm like, people call me a ghost also. And I'm like, maybe Michael just can't, hurt me because I'm ghost.
There we go.
We're a perfect match.
Some Addams Family situations. That's hilarious. No, obviously we're seeing it in the chat now, but then we also see it a lot, on most shows, we'll put it that way. All right. So how about the Chupacabra chug?
That used to be my nemesis. And then I'm fine with chugs now. Like I figured it out and it's pretty simple for me what I need to do as a chili head. It's just something like Midge's chug. Have you ever done it, Brandon?
No.
Okay. It is like drinking salsa. It's not normal hot sauce. So normal hot sauce is pretty thin-ish or pretty well blended. But Midge is a little more chunky. And both times when I tried it, it was freezing cold. And I don't like my salsa cold. And I just had these like awful gag reflexes to it. And I failed both times because you have to drink this whole bottle in 60 seconds. And it's a
That's the hard
larger
part. Yeah.
bottle.
Yep.
And so I'm forcing myself to drink something I don't like. And I was like, I can't do it. But finally, I went on a live alone and I did it. And now it's not my nemesis anymore. And I just learned, like, if I think of it as salsa and I just pretend like, I'm chewing it up like salsa and chips, then it's, I don't know, it goes down easier for me. So no longer Midge is my nemesis.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, mind over matter, definitely. And that sounds like you finally flipped that mindset to allow that to, go down smoothly. Yeah. So it looks like we have one more question and then we're going to jump on into some more fun. So, all right, from Matt, what's the most exciting thing about competing in the pepper competitions?
Yeah, if I'm going to answer that first, what is it for me? I think a lot of people like to say like, oh, being around, fellow chili heads and the camaraderie and all that stuff. But that's not really how I feel, because I enjoy that when I'm not competing, like when you're just sauce tasting and walking around festivals. When you're actually on stage, it's all about you and you competing with yourself. And I really like getting in that headspace and just kind of like pushing everything out, like when you're doing a really difficult challenge and just like almost like everything blacks out around you except for the pepper that you're eating. And it's very therapeutic. I love the feeling of, the increasing burn that you get from the peppers. And I also like the opportunity to sit at a table and taste a variety of peppers. I think it's kind of like a treat, you don't know what's going to be put in front of you next. So I love peppers that much. So that's what I think about it. What about you?
Yeah, at Never Better Club, we have a saying, to the moon. And we say that when we do something truly extreme that kind of pushes the boundaries. And it's hard to get there. It's hard to kind of, you do enough of these challenges and it's hard to kind of level up to the point. But a pepper eating competition is pretty much a guaranteed way, especially in extreme pepper eating competitions where you're doing super hot after super hot after super hot with extract chugs. And it's just absolutely brutal. And it's really, it's hard to simulate these at home. Like Alexandria and I have done some training at home, but there's just nothing like being there in person with hundreds of people in front
adrenaline.
of you. Yeah, we were in Chicago doing one of the Guinness Reaper eating competitions, and there were literally hundreds of people there. It was incredible. Everyone screaming. It's just such an experience. So,
yeah, it's really crazy.
So yeah, that's probably for me the most exciting aspect. And then of course you build incredible memories like Matt Johnson, San Diego. He and I were there side by side. You definitely build a brotherhood. It really there
is something about like when you make it further into the competition, the people on stage with you, it is one of those things where if you look around for a second, you're like, whoa, like we're all doing the same thing. So that part's kind of cool, I guess. Yeah. You all get to share the same experience, the exact same calculated experience.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right. Very nice. Yeah. I did have a question. I guess we can kind of build upon that real quick, because I know I've heard it mentioned a few times. I know I saw Charlie talking about it not too long ago. The overall experience of just, when you get ready to get to these competitions. So like most of the time you're traveling somewhere, it's not your home per se. Obviously your mindset has to be right. Then it's like, well, you may not have all the exact same things that you normally prep with on hand. So then they got that variable. Then you have the, maybe you don't like being in front of others and you're like kind of a little bit shy in that realm, right? So then you have that factor. Like, I guess talk through that aspect. We don't have to go too into detail with that, but just like, I guess speak to y'all's mindset whenever y'all are traveling to these other states to put on these or have these competitions and be a part of them. Like, what does that look like for y'all?
Yeah, it's highly calculated. We plan it down to the minute. We basically, because you are, like you said, you're away from home. Doing challenges in the comfort of your home is very easy compared to being, at a place where there's really little comfort. Actually, all of our competitions,
there's no comfort.
You're doing things so extreme that there's no option but to boot, for example. So you have to plan for that.
Yeah, and your mommy is not standing there with cold milk waiting for you when you get off stage. So guess what? If it's July in Florida, you better have your icy cooler with your milk with you, because nobody's going to save you other than yourself, and you're going to lay on the ground and cramp.
So we kind of emulate some of it. We have what we call the boot box. And again, we're no boot crew, but again, if you're going to spend an hour doing Superhots, you're going to boot. Everyone boots. It's just a fact of life. So we literally have what's called a boot box that has multiple gallons of milk, and we always overbuy because there's always other people that don't have enough milk or don't have milk at all. So we try to help the people around us if we can.
Yep.
And so being prepared, and then having your prep, really again dial it in, leading up to the competition. I think everyone gets the jitters going into any of these comps, and you have to again emulate a lot of what you do at home, but kind of on the fly, right? So it takes a lot of preparation.
One last thing on that too. Matt Johnston was that person for Michael at his first pep rating competition. Matt was cramping. Michael was really in need of more milk. I ran over to his wife, Ashley, and I said, Ashley, is that your milk in front of you? And she's like, yeah. And I don't remember if she said this is extra or Matt doesn't need any more. I said, please give it to me. I will buy you something. Like, I'll buy you drinks later. I'll buy you more. And they so willingly gave it to me. And I'll never forget that. So Michael and I now at these competitions, we always try to be that person, because if Matt wasn't there, there was no one, like we said, there was no ice cream truck. There's
no store
nothing
around you.
There's no store. You're
usually in a
desert.
field somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So you gotta be prepared. And I'll never forget that moment, because it was like a wave of relief washed over me, because Michael was not feeling great for a second there until he threw up. So
sounds like a missed opportunity from a vendor standpoint to just roll up and be like, got my ice cream, vehicle or truck, or it's just like, you could just make a killing right there. All of a sudden, just double your prices, and you're like, oh, look at that, it's flying.
$10, great.
At that point, you're just doing anything and everything to stop it or numb it, if you will. So, it's I don't know many people that wouldn't pay X amount of dollars to just stop their burn or numb it. So, not something I can necessarily speak to, since I'm lactose intolerant. I don't really chase anything with it. I have learned to get to a point where it starts to subside and just ride it out. But once it gets to a certain point, then I can start to integrate water without it really just reactivating the burn, if you will. Right. And so I just kind of go that route. But yeah. Oh, well, I think we have some fun shenanigans to get on over to. So let's go ahead and start this.
You can't talk about challenges without doing them, right?
Yeah.
We gotta dive into here. So. All right. Well, here, let me go ahead and move this forward so that I have some space here.
We have to remember too.
I definitely know. Oh, Jeff, the timer, first of all, we'll need ready, and then the secondary. All right. So, I'm going to need this on frame, so might need to back myself up some to have.
Yeah, us too, a little bit at least.
Okay, we'll zoom out a little on both of us so that we can get a full view of contents at hand. Get all this off to the side. Pardon the noise for all those listening. I'll put this over here. Am I able to get a little bit more of this on camera? Yeah. Cool.
There you go.
There we go. Boom. All right, cool. So we have the multiple cups because we're going to do this split up. So theoretically, I can just pour these both now, correct?
Theoretically, yes. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I gave you 2 cups. You can pour them both if you want. Why do I? We have more cups.
Yeah,
you want to
yeah.
go? We'll mimic you. We'll do the same
Okay.
thing. So
I figured for sake of having it prepped and ready, that would
yes,
be
smart. Okie
good.
dokie. We all
Move
crack it
this
open.
a little bit.
Michael and I are going to flash our disclaimers because we
Okay.
are subscribers. So we have a disclaimer bypass shown right here for both of us. And there we go. All done.
All right. And then I'm going to record that. And obviously, we got to get this uploaded anyways. So don't think League of Fire wants my whole episode in their submission. So here we go.
All right, let's crack it open. Oh, shoot.
Oh,
You're
shake
shaking. Okay. Well, I haven't done this one in a little bit.
All right.
Oh, it smells so good. Give it a good smell, Brandon. You're a sauce taster.
50
Yep.
Yeah.
I will definitely be doing that. I'm trying to make sure it's as evened up as possible. I'll take the... Let's get it all out of there. While that's going, I'm going to...
Okay.
Oh, wow. It's got a great body on this.
Perfect even. Yeah, I know. And when the first time I tried this sauce, I was like, wow, I would put this on food. I would put this all over like most food. It's delicious. So it's kind of a shame. You're like, oh, why am I chugging this? Yeah, well, we got to show our empty bottle here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty clear. Just in case this other one is needed. Off to the side. Off. Whatever. Face that way. Still on frame, so we're good. All right. So, all right. So nothing but to do it. Right. We're slamming this back, and then the second that we're all done, we'll start the timer.
Mouth open.
Yeah, show an empty mouth, and then we can all start the 3-minute after.
Okay. Cool. Got that?
All right.
Cool.
Cheers.
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 Let's go. Cool.
That is a tasty sauce.
It is.
Matter of fact, I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. I'm going to go ahead and jot some stuff down while we're here.
Do it.
There you
That's
go.
awesome.
If my pen would work, that would be great. Maybe I'll just type it in my phone. All right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, overall, it's got a great body to it. But, consistency wise, it's perfect. It's very, very thin, very pureed, if you will. There's some bits to it, but it's not anything chunky by any stretch. Flavor and aroma, man, as you were saying, I could see myself actually wanting to use this as a normal table sauce. It's got that much flavor and aroma. So, all right, let me jot some stuff down. That's a remarkable sauce. What are y'all sitting at right now on this? What are y'all thinking?
Do you have heat from it? I'll tell you what. I did a bunch of challenges earlier. My tongue is a little cut up, like numb. But I'd say my heat right now is like, I would call it a 1. I have general mouth burn. My throat burns earlier too.
It's more of a general kind of ting.
Yeah, like a tingle,
Yeah.
but my throat burns a little bit. So
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is like normally I'm pretty open about this too. It's usually mouth burn that like gets me every time, But I don't really have much of a mouth burn. A little bit on my lip, where obviously it was like hitting as I was drinking it. A little bit of a tingle there, but everything else is just kind of a tingle. So let me jot that flavor.
Acid working its way down.
yeah, it's a very acidic sauce.
Yep.
If you want me to read it, I will. It says the ingredients are vinegar, tomato, carrot, garlic, onion, lime juice, sesame oil, salt, and Uncle Bull Cow's chocolate primatale pepper. So,
Very nice.
Chocolate primatale.
Yeah,
I think this challenge would be good stomach tolerance building for folks.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. If you feel like you don't have good stomach tolerance, you do this occasionally. I feel like it would kind of help build it up. So without giving you crazy cramps.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Stomach hasn't really ever been too much of a problem. I guess The last time I really had a stomach issue was the very first time I did the tuba terra back in 2018. And that was just simply because that was my start out in the, challenge game, if you will. And I didn't prepare, I didn't prep, I didn't do nothing. I just went full send.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
All right.
Next one. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers. Didn't know I needed to show those as well, but yeah, my bad.
Awesome. It's good.
No, this is a great challenge. Definitely loving this one, and from a sauce review mindset, well, this is a dang good sauce.
It is.
I'm like salivating with how much I just I want to keep enjoying this.
I know, I am too.
I could easily see where this would be a challenge that someone would want to stack just because of how great it tastes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's for a good cause. This is one of the providers of League of Fire that is a nonprofit. So everything that you purchase goes towards putting shoes on people that need them. So I think, and foot care.
Yeah, essential foot care. Harvest 912 was great.
They got nominated when Johnny was on. I've been in talks with them, so we have a date booked. So looking forward to having them on the show as well. And it should be a fun one as well to kind of dive into everything they're doing for the community as a whole and the community around them. So definitely interested in that. While we still have time, hey, there's two things I want to do. So what we'll do is we'll start with your hot seat nomination while we're burning. So go ahead, and since there's two of y'all can actually make two different nominations if you want.
Yay! Okay, I am going to nominate Sundance 270.
All right.
And that's that. Sundance Carter. He is he needs to have a light shined on him, and he is a wonderful chili head and a great person, and not only a great chili head, but he's just kind of a interesting individual who does a lot of different things and kind of has his hand in a lot of different pots, so to speak. And he is similar to us in the sense that he will kind of try anything, and he will just try any sort of fun challenge that includes spice, even if it's not for points. So, he's a lot of fun.
Very nice. All right, Sundance, I'll be reaching out to you to get you on the schedule, and we'll find a time that works for both of our schedules. Michael, do you have someone you wanted to nominate, or?
Yeah, I have quite the list, so this was actually kind of tough to pick one. So, but yeah, I choose Charlie, Broken Charlie. So I think you need to take a look at him. Really, honestly, in the world of competitive eating, I think he has one of the highest tolerances. I mean, the fact that he has pushed through what he has, Killer Queens, Pure Insanity, all sorts of things. I mean, just across the gamut. So I have a tremendous respect for Charlie, and definitely would love to see all sorts of questions targeted towards him. So yeah, Charlie.
I hope you can make it work with his time zone too. I know he's in the chat right now, but I know it's rather late for him where he is.
Yeah, no, definitely. We'll have to. I know that'll be a fun one to try to figure out. So we'll definitely get that pinned down and find a time that works for everyone. So Charlie, Sundance, be reaching out to y'all soon. I want to also start something a little bit different, if you will. I'm going to start phrasing this question to whatever part of the community the guest is coming from. So for y'all today, I want to ask y'all, as competitive, chili eaters and spicy challenge takers, what is your one tip of advice to someone that is just looking to get into eating spicy challenges and pot eating competitions?
Ooh, I love this.
Yeah, that's a good one for you.
Okay, but you should maybe answer it too. But My first thought is, and I say this as often as I can remember to remember to say it on our channel, but just don't be afraid and just do it. And if there's like a challenge that you want to do, go for it, record it, upload it. People will be so supportive of you, and nobody is going to think you're a failure if you don't complete it the first time. You will be uplifted and encouraged, and you won't even believe how supported you will feel. So that, and secondarily, if you feel like you don't have anyone to lean on, please message Michael or I, because I love walking people through the beginning steps of just getting into the world of spicy competitive eating. I am happy to share any tips or tricks that I've learned along the way. And I'm happy to hold your hand and walk through any challenge available for any sector of challenges. Like if you want to do Pure Insanity, if you want to do League of Fire, if you are interested in looking at challenges that are just lesser known or in a certain part of the community, like I've done most everything. So I just love supporting people, and I say don't be afraid of it or of the world, because people are great here.
Yeah, I would add too that don't let a bad experience or two, prevent you from, continuing, because that is kind of, honestly the tough part. Like you have to push yourself, and sometimes it's not always going to be the most pleasant once you start breaking, kind of boundaries for yourself. So, and then just I think we try to remind everyone that prep is not just before the challenge; it's also after the challenge. So. A lot of people that suffer from terrible, cap cramps or just not knowing what to do after the fact, you have to think about prep after the challenge as
well. You do have to realize too, and I mean, Brandon, you can just totally relate to this, but you wouldn't continue to be a chili head. And I say you, I mean us and everyone. You wouldn't continue to do it if things were as horrible as they were in the beginning. If they continued like that, like you do figure it out eventually.
It gets easier,
and it gets easier. And if there was a silver bullet, we would all talk about that silver bullet. But it's different for everyone, so you have to figure it out on your own a little bit at least.
Yep, definitely. All right, well. Hey, I appreciate having y'all on. It was so much fun. Look forward to having y'all on again very soon. And hey, once again, thank y'all. Go ahead and just, I guess, quickly plug away where y'all are, where everyone can find y'all, obviously for the Audible listeners that will be chiming in after the fact.
Michael, you do it.
Yeah, so check us out, Never Better Club, pretty much everywhere. So YouTube, we're really focused on putting out regular challenges on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram.
All right, great. Well, I'll have all y'all's links down below. And hey, once again, thank y'all for coming on. It's been a blast. We had a show first, so glad to have had this episode happen and have all the fun and everything that we got to partake in. So, thank y'all again.
All right, thank you, Brandon.
All right, awesome.
All right. Well, hey. Once again, thank y'all, for being active in the chat. Y'all are amazing. Love the questions. Thankful for, everyone being as amazing as y'all are. Thank you for coming back. Definitely want to say, hey, if you're new, once again, please go ahead and give us a follow, subscribe, whatever you want to call it on YouTube. We're trying to grow there, and definitely share this around with others in the chili head community, others that are just interested in the world of spice. So want to make sure this is a welcoming place for everyone, regardless of heat tolerance. So definitely want to continue to grow the channel. So thank y'all there. I want to go ahead and shout out and say thank you to Don Chowana for the hot or nut tonight. If you want to check out Don Chowana, we'll have the links down below of where you can pick up your own bottle. Once again, we'll also have links for Never Better Club. So glad to have them on the show tonight. Hey, man, once again, can't express how much this whole thing is just seamless and pain-free thanks to podvision.io. So if you're looking to start a brand, grow a brand, maybe you started one and you kind of lost it, you're trying to figure out how to reboot, whatever, definitely reach out to podvision.io and they'll get you hooked up. So, yeah, hey, episode 19, man, it's going by fast. Hey, I'm Brandon Swear. And from everything from the world of hot, this has been the swear word.